The last decade of the 12th century had seen an acceleration in the internal dismemberment of the empire. Everything worked towards this, from the dispersal of tax resources, exemptions, and grants of land to the sovereign's relations and allies, to the provincialization of the economy and culture. Before 1204, it was clear that whole regions of the empire had broken away from it to a greater or lesser extent, both in Europe and in Asia Minor. Theodore Mangaphus in Philadelphia and Leo Sigoros at Corinth and Argos behaved like minor kings. The basic principle that had never been seriously questioned in Eastern Rome, namely the sacred unity of political power, became gradually hazier in people's minds, because the new dynasties had nothing in common with the claimants to the throne in previous centuries. While the general Bardas Skeleros used his command to acquire supreme authority back in 976, Sigoros aimed only at carving out for himself an independent principality in central Greece. Following the sack of Constantinople and its occupation by the Latin invaders of Western Europe, the administrative structure of the Byzantine state went into exile, forming the successor states of the Empire of Nicaea, the Despotate of Epirus, and the Empire of Trebizond. In 1261, the Nicaean Empire would eventually go on to recapture Constantinople, starting a short-lived revival of Roman fortunes. Before long, civil wars plagued the crippled empire between 1321 and 1347, sabotaging the manpower and economic output it was already incapable of. These civil wars also allowed the exploitation of the empire's fringe territories by the emerging Second Serbian Empire, which conquered Thessaly and Epirus in 1348. Unfortunately for the descendants of the Romans, their fortunes only went from bad to worse. The emerging Ottoman Empire crossed into Europe via Gallipoli, following a devastating earthquake that forced the inhabitants to abandon the site. The Ottoman Sultan, Orhan, conquered